I finally broke free after 18 years of narcissistic abuse. 18 years. I mean, that's like coming of age. If it was a child, there would be a young adult. They would have reached the age of majority. But I didn't know I was in an abusive relationship. I like doing that. Okay, I'm gonna stop. There's no way you're going to know, because at first there's no shouting, there's no bruises, there's no, I mean, they just come across as if they were the best thing that you ever wanted, that you ever prayed for, if you're a prayerful person. They just tick all the boxes, like tick, 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 tick. But it's an act. It's all an act. That's not who they are in their core. So, no wonder why it took me 18 years to like finally wake up. Like, wake up! What's going on? Right. You know when you're with a narcissist, you sort of like observe. Like you're just confused, because when you're observing their behavior, when you're observing what they tell you, when you're observing what they do, they are worlds apart. And then you wonder, is it me? Is it my eyes? You now start questioning your own reality. You doubt yourself. You question everything you've ever known about anything, because it's like you've been pulled to a universe you've never known before, that you're now starting to live there. So who best to ask for directions or for information than your abuser? So that's why it took me 18 years in this narcissistic abuse relationship. I only got to know that it was called narcissism. That is the only way I was like, oh my God, now that explains the love bombing. Now that explains the smear campaign. Now that explains the grey walking. Now that explains the devaluing. Now that explains that discard. Why does somebody just say, I don't care about you? Nobody cares about you. I don't care. Do whatever you want. And you're like, oh. Right. So that's why I finally like, this is not life. Because what a narcissist does, it's like, a tube of toothpaste. When you meet them, you are full. By the time you wake up and realize this is abuse, they would have squeezed you out. The tube will be empty. Nowadays the tube of toothpaste is plastic, so you can actually blow air into it, and then it retains its shape, like it's got toothpaste in it. It's only when you try to press it out that nothing comes out. Yeah, that's what a narcissist will do. You become a shell of your former self. If a person looks at you, they'll think, oh, that's a wholesome individual. But deep down inside, you are empty. You are running on empty. And what a narcissist does as well is, like, when you live with them, you wake up tired, and then you think, you put it down to, maybe I didn't get enough sleep, maybe I'm fighting some infection, or maybe it was just too warm last night. I wasn't comfortable enough, so maybe that's why. But the more you realize that something is off. Why is it that I don't feel that energy anymore. It's gone. Where is it gone? And then you might think, oh, maybe it's out down. Do you see where I'm going with this? That's why it took me forever, because I was just like making excuses upon excuses upon excuses until I could not recognize myself anymore. I was like, who am I? What made me tick? What made me smile? What made me happy? When was the last time I was ever happy? I mean, I'm not talking about laughing. I mean, I don't know in terms of laugh so far. I'm talking about being happy. You just feel happy within, content. I could not remember, because a narcissist will not allow you to be happy, because you need to give them the energy, okay? So whenever you're like, right, they want you to run on empty, because that's what fuels them. A narcissist thrives on chaos. So, and narcissism is actually emotional, psychological abuse. They want to live in your head, to occupy your head space. So by the time you'll be like, what is going on? You are on the deep end of, if it was a swimming pool, you'll be swimming in the deep end and you can't swim. You find yourself in the deep end, but you can't swim. So that's when you start like asking for help before you could drown. You actually feel like you're drowning. You start having dreams where you'll be like screaming for help, and then your voice doesn't come out. So people cannot help you because they can't hear you. You know, like you're being chased by a wild animal, and then you're trying to scream for help, and then nothing comes out. Despite your help, but your voice is just like mute. And then you wonder, what is going on? What kind of dreams are these? Does it sound familiar? Does it? Right. At first, a narcissist will come across as very charming, very caring, very nice, very helpful, very attentive. They will just fill in all the blanks of what an ideal person is for you. They will study you like a book, inside out. Study you. They'll know what makes you tick. They know what upsets you, because then they can play around with what upsets you, because they don't want you to be happy. So if you're sad, the only thing that can get you to being in a sad position is if you have a fight, and then therefore you're going to be uttering some strong words. And then that way you are giving them attention, energy, which is what they thrive on. That's not life, is it? A narcissist will gaslight you. They will create a situation and then they'll flip around and accuse you of being too sensitive. You are so insecure. They will even use insults just to divert what they've started talking about. And then it ends up being your fault. You end up apologizing. 18 years it took me to finally put my finger on what was been going on. What do you even call all this? I mean, I look back on it and I laugh because it's just hidden in plain sight. It's like a chameleon. Do you know anything about chameleons? Do you? Okay, I do. My first experience with a chameleon, when I saw it, I was like, I thought I saw something move. And then before you even blink twice, you can't see it. And you'd be like, I thought I saw something move on the ground. Where is it? What happened? Because it camouflages. It changes its color to suit its environment. Sounds familiar? So, a narcissist will change color. They will change their character to suit whoever they're interacting with. So, you being in a relationship with them, you see different colors with them. In the beginning, it will be a lovely color. Oh my God, this chameleon is so beautiful. Look at it. That's a trap. They'll do that by love bombing you. They'll introduce you to all their friends, to all their family, and the family will be calling you. And you're like, wait a minute, I just met you yesterday. Why am I receiving phone calls from your mother? What am I going to say to her? I mean, I don't even know if we're serious with if we're serious with this thing. Who does that? Who does that? Right. So, like I said, they come across as the best thing since sliced bread. They come across as the answer to your prayer for a partner. If you've been praying for a partner and you've been like, God, I want a partner who cooks. I want a partner who worships the ground that I walk on. And then they come and do that. Because here's the thing, narcissists know. If it's a woman, they know what men gravitate towards, what could keep them trapped. Same applies to men narcissists. He knew how to trap me. And here are some of the things that I think, because of talking about this, like I've already said on this channel, I want this to be like my way of healing, my way of processing what's happened to me, in as much as I witnessed it, but now I need to unpack and put it away. In that process, I also want you to be encouraged to see that it is possible. I mean, you might find yourself in the darkest of pits. You might think your experience cannot get any better, but it can, and it will. All it takes is for you to make that decision. All it takes is for you to even recognize that this is abusive. Because, like I said, I didn't know for 18 years that I was in an abusive relationship. And now when you get to know that this is abuse, we know that admitting abuse is a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Ooh, who wants to wear that tag on them? Like, I've been abused, I'm a victim. You were like, oh, I don't want that badge, no. But it is what it is. It's only by embracing and not to be in denial. You need to embrace the fact that this has happened to you. You need to embrace that abuse can happen to anybody. Nobody makes an application. I've said this in other videos, that you don't make an application to be abused. And if you knew the person you were meeting was an abuser, thank God now there's the registers where you can check if a person is a criminal, different kinds of criminals. Here in the UK, I'm sure even in other countries. I can speak for the UK because that's where I live, and that's where I've heard about Claire's law and stuff like that. So there's no way you can know. There's no way you can tell that a person is an abuser by them walking or by them even talking to you, because they will pretend for until they can't pretend anymore. And then by that time, you're already sucked in. You are like always like wanting that version of themselves that they presented to you to return. So whatever is happening, the emotional abuse, you trying not to anger them, because then you realize, oh, maybe I made them angry. So it's because of what I did that now they've gone into their shell. So you're waiting for them to come out of their shell. Like there's no shell they've gone into. They were never there. They were never there. It was like, you know, like those playmates for kids where they use water to paint, and when that water evaporates, that paint goes with that. The whatever drawing it just is erased. It just becomes a blank canvas. That's what they were. I mean, like I said, I laugh about it now. But if you're going through some of the experiences I've explained, just know that a narcissist will not change. It's just like a chameleon. A chameleon will only adapt. It can only adapt to the environment it's in, for it to fit in, for it to survive. A narcissist will just use the same tactics, manipulation, gaslighting, to trap its, for them to be able to get narcissistic supply. How sad is that? Because they are empty, so they need somebody's energy to carry them through. So you find that you probably are not the only source of supply for them, because if you let them down, they need somebody to do it, to give them. They need somebody to give it to them, right? So there you go. I remember walking on eggshells. I remember trying to earn their love. I'm like, what should I do? Oh, maybe let me try this recipe. Or maybe oh God, the thing that you do, because you're always scratching your head thinking maybe it's you, when it's not. It's got nothing to do with you. I try to avoid conflict. I was like, okay, maybe if we just stay in a no conflict zone. But what a life. You can't even ask somebody, where have you been? Because I was hoping we would do ABCD like we had planned last week. And then you'll be called, you don't understand. And then the more you ask questions, you are labeled a nagger. It's better to... what's that? There's that Bible verse. What does it say? It's better to live in a house that is dripping than to live with a nagging wife. I'm sure that's what it says. You can correct me in the comment section, okay? I would love to know that you are here till this time. Yeah, so like I said, if you are in a situation like I was in, and now you've come to know that, oh, this is narcissism, and I was dealing with a covert narcissist. So you wouldn't, they would actually be saying, I am actually, don't compare me with men who beat their wives. And then you're like, oh yeah, thank God, he doesn't do that to me. But violence will creep in when they are getting frustrated that you're not giving them the supply that they've been getting. This is when you start standing up to them. I made a video about when I finally stood up against the narcissist, because now they'll be like, what? I'm your master? You should not talk back to me. So now they feel threatened, and then that's where violence might creep in. It did for me. You'll get objects thrown into your face. Yeah, and then before, you are only expecting that kind of a behavior from an adult. And then all of a sudden something is flying towards you. Before you know, you even like it's hit your face. Depending on the impact, you might get hurt. Thank God nothing disfigured my face. Right, so you deserve better. Choose your freedom. You can heal from this. Your life can get better. Even your health. Oh my God, if there's anything that suffers the most, is your health. Not just the mental side of things, not your physical. You just feel lost, lack of energy. I told you that you go to sleep and obviously everyone, when you go to sleep, you're like, oh, I'm so tired, let me just go to bed. And then when you wake up, you're still tired. You're like, what's going on to this earth? Why is it that you forget that there was a time you would go to sleep and wake up feeling refreshed? Right, so I chose myself. I left. I did not even say goodbye. I fled. Because it didn't matter what my mouth said, what came out of my mouth to them. It didn't matter. Because they had made their case clear that they don't care. And then I was like, so what happened after? What next? What happened after this? When I left, I just wanted to be in a safe space to begin with. I just wanted my kids to experience a different environment, to just wake up and not feel anxiety, and not experience anxiety, and not wonder, so where is Dad gone? So why didn't he tell us? Or why did Dad sleep on the sofa? Or why is Dad doing whatever he's doing? I just didn't want that anymore for myself and for my kids. So when I left, they tried to hoover, but just go no contact with the narcissist. Change your number, block them, and be the one who takes control of any communication if there's any need for you to communicate with them. For my case, because of the children, but not anymore. Like I said, how a narcissist operate is by trying to devalue. They try to prop themselves up to people, so they'll smear you, they'll blame you for the relationship ending. They've always been blaming you from day one. They're the ones who introduce you to their family, and now they're the same person who goes back and says how bad you are a person to them. And it's just confusing, isn't it? It is confusing. So yeah, I'm just checking to see if I haven't left anything out. I didn't want to talk much about what happens when you leave, but because I've made some videos before. You can check on this channel. I think life after narcissistic abuse. If you go in that playlist, you'll find some videos that talks about how life is like, and also on the how-to playlist, there's very valid information in there about how to go about things, how to report domestic abuse and stuff, and also how to heal from narcissistic abuse. There's a few videos that I made with resources in them that are very valuable. I've used them myself. I keep on using them. So that's why I was like, I'll just talk about why it took me 18 years to leave a narcissist, to break free. But it is the best decision that I ever made for myself, for my children, because now we are rebuilding. For my kids, life goes on, isn't it? But at least they're in a different environment. They are experiencing life like never before. Just think about, just try to imagine when everything is as you want it to be. Just imagine that. You got peace, you got clarity, you got your creativity comes back, and then you're enjoying life. You actually can see the sun is shining. You actually want to go out and engage with the world. Imagine that. This can only happen when your mental faculties are not occupied by ruminating thoughts, are not occupied by what the narcissist has been programming you for years. So, yeah. So if you're watching this and you feel stuck, please know you are not crazy, you are not weak, and you are not alone. I thought I was the only one experiencing what was happening, because most people I spoke to, they were like, oh, we are good, because people pretend, by the way. So you talk to them and then they will be like, oh, so I'm not the only one. I'm not alone. But then they don't want to admit it because it's shameful to admit. I said it's like you've got a badge that you have to walk around with that says I've been abused. It's like it's your fault, but no, it's not. So breaking free is possible. I did it. If I can do it, I didn't have help. I didn't have support. Sort of. Should I? Yeah. Like family support? No. It was just me and the kids. Starting all over, and I was like, I rather live under a bridge than continue to live with this kind of a life. Right, so you're not just leaving them, you're finally coming back to who you are. Remember I said, you just imagine clarity, creativity. You're just like, you're gonna start to live again, and better. Of course, there's a healing process that has to be done. There's no escape. It's like if you've been swimming in the mud, and then when you come out, you'll be like, oh, I feel so dirty. But the more you wash off the dirt, the cleaner you get, and you feel good afterwards, and your confidence comes back, and you can start doing things that you couldn't do when you're full of mud. Make sense? Right. Yeah. So thank you for watching. I didn't intend for this video to be this long. It's because some of these things, there's no way I can just come in and talk like 5 minutes and then I'm gone. I mean, no, it doesn't work like that. So I just hope you've taken the time to spend time with me and just it's like a chat with you, okay? So if this has spoken to your heart, please share it with somebody who needs hope. Like I said, you are not alone. Let's heal together. It's possible. My life is, I pinch myself. I'm like, oh my God, it's only taken me 2 years, and look at where I am now. Look at how my kids are thriving, and yeah. So as always, my heart goes out to you if you're in it, if you've come out of it. I would love to know what's happening with you in the comment section. So with that said,